Here's a quick, surprising upgrade. Outline your lawn with crushed gravel and thyme instead of plastic edging. It looks charming, drains better after rain, and releases fragrance when stepped on. Pure English garden magic. Today on Luxury Home Decor, we'll craft England-style backyard landscaping that feels timeless yet fresh. Expect seasonal plant pairings, budget-friendly materials, and space-smart layouts that suit cottages, townhouses, and modern homes alike. Settle in for practical, elegant ideas you can start using this weekend. Begin with structure, the backbone of any English garden. Use low boxwood, dwarf yew, or privet to draw gentle lines that guide the eye and separate zones. Keep hedges modest in small yards. Raised beds or narrow borders preserve walking space while delivering formality. Choose rounded corners to soften fences and patios. Structure lets seasonal flowers change without chaos. When petals fade, clipped greenery maintains rhythm, balance, and that calm, lived-in English character everyone secretly craves. Paths matter as much as plants. Combine irregular flagstones with pea gravel infill for that relaxed, wandered-through feel. In tight spaces, run a single path down the center and flare it into little bays for seating. Larger yards benefit from branching paths that create momentary reveals. Use decomposed granite where budgets are tight, laying a compacted base so it stays tidy. Natural stone tones, grays, buff and soft browns, harmonize beautifully with brick walls, timber fences and painted doors. Color schemes should whisper rather than shout. Classic English borders favor layered greens punctuated by creams, blush, lavender, and deep burgundy. Choose a main flower color for spring, another for summer, and one accent for continuity. For example, spring hellebores and tulips, summer roses and foxgloves, autumn asters, with silvery foliage threading through. This approach keeps interest high yet cohesive. Repeat hues in cushions, planters, and lanterns to tie house and garden together without spending heavily. Roses are expected, but choose varieties that love your climate and maintenance style. Shrub roses and English roses offer generous blooms and fragrance without fussy pruning. Train climbers on arches or simple timber frames over gateways to create height without eating lawn space. Underplant roses with catmint, hardy geraniums, and lady's mantle. The frothy textures feel distinctly English and help shade soil, reducing watering. Mulch with compost to nourish quietly and keep everything looking well tended year-round. If you're short on space, think vertical. Trellises, obelisks, and wall-mounted planters turn blank fences into tapestry. Try evergreen jasmine or star clematis for year-round structure. Then weave seasonal sweet peas for spring romance. In corners, a slender fruit espalier, apple or pear, adds edible interest while preserving circulation. Vertical layers make small backyards feel enveloping and private, an essential English quality. They also stretch a modest plant budget because height delivers drama with small quantities of plants. Furniture should invite lingering. Choose a compact bistro set for courtyards, or a bench tucked beneath a small tree. Painted timber in muted sage, cream, or charcoal coordinates with stone and foliage. Wicker or metal with soft cushions adds comfort without bulk. Keep proportions honest. Narrow spaces need armless chairs and slim tables. Larger patios can handle deep seating. Scatter a couple of sturdy side tables for tea, books, and garden snips. English style values thoughtful convenience. Seasonal rotation is the secret to endless charm. Plant bulbs in layers, early crocus, mid-tulips, late alliums, so spring unfolds in chapters. Summer gets texture from salvias, delphiniums, and ornamental grasses. Autumn glows with sedum, Japanese anemone, and fiery foliage. Winter should never be empty. Rely on hellebores, evergreen ferns, and buried shrubs. By planning a quartet of seasons, your backyard feels alive every month, capturing that English tradition of gardening as a year-round conversation. Water features add romance and wildlife. A small pre-formed pond nestled near a seating nook gives reflections and gentle sound. Use stone coping to blend with paths, and plant marginal grasses, irises, and marsh marigold for a natural edge. No room for ponds? Try a bubbling urn or wall fountain. The trickling noise masks neighborhood hum without demanding much space. Keep proportions sweet and simple. Understatement feels authentic and lets plants remain the lead characters in the scene. Lighting should be soft, layered, and warm. Use low-voltage stake lights to graze hedges, then add tiny uplights at the base of a small tree or climbing rose. Warm string lights over a bench bring evening coziness without overwhelming. In narrow gardens, lighting along the boundary draws eyes lengthwise, creating the illusion of depth. Solar options are budget-friendly for testing placement before hardwiring. Good lighting extends the landscape's usefulness and makes every twilight feel like an invitation. Think in rooms. An English-style yard rarely presents everything at once. It guides you gently from one moment to the next. Use a small arch, pergola beam, or hedge gap to suggest passage. Within each room, target one focal point, a pot tower, bird bath, or tree, and arrange plants in loose drifts leading toward it. This approach simplifies decision-making and spending. Because each zone has a purpose, you avoid scattering furniture or planters randomly, and maintenance becomes refreshingly clear. Herbaceous borders bring that painterly English tapestry. Build in layers. Evergreens and shrubs at the back, perennials and grasses mid-tier, seasonal annuals near the front. Repeat plant families for cohesion, catmint, lavender, salvia, then punctuate with tall spires like foxglove or verbascum. Aim for leaf variety as much as flower color. Matte, glossy, ferny, and velvety textures keep borders interesting between blooms. Space wisely so plants can mature gracefully, saving on replacements and pruning headaches later. Wildlife-friendly choices elevate the garden's spirit. Include nectar-rich flowers, a shallow bird bath, and a few log piles tucked discreetly for insects. Choose hedging that berries and blossoms, supporting birds across seasons. Avoid blanket pesticides. Instead, welcome ladybugs and lacewings by planting dill and fennel. English gardens thrive on a gentle balance, where beauty and biodiversity mingle. Besides, birdsong transforms even the smallest backyard into a sanctuary, making morning coffee feel like a countryside holiday. Budget tip: mix high-impact statement pieces with simple supporting acts. Splurge on one beautiful bench or an arch that centers the composition. Save with bulk packs of hardy perennials and native ground covers. Upcycle brick or salvage stone for edging. Mismatched pieces become charming when arranged thoughtfully. Paint tired fences in a soft recessive hue so plants shine. A careful edit of standout items against a backdrop of affordable greenery delivers that enviable English elegance without overspending. Containers are your secret weapon for flexibility. Terracotta feels classic, but mix sizes and shapes to avoid stiffness. In shade, combine ferns, heuchera, and trailing ivy. In sun, pair dwarf roses with thyme, verbena, and silver artemisia. Cluster pots near thresholds to transition from house to garden gracefully. When seasons shift, swap contents and move containers to refresh focal points. Containers also scale English style onto balconies, patios, and tiny yards where ground planting is limited. Lawns remain lovely, but keep them modest. A smaller, well-framed lawn looks intentional and sustainable. Shape it with gentle curves that echo flowerbeds. Then select resilient grass suitable for your climate. Where water is scarce, replace sections with meadow-style planting or gravel, inserting stepping pads for circulation. The English look isn't about vast turf. It's about a green oasis that sets off borders and seats conversation. Less mowing, more fragrance, more time to enjoy life. Color accents work best when restrained. Choose 2 accent colors that complement your planting plan. Then repeat them in cushions, lanterns, and painted planters. Sage and blush feel romantic. Navy and cream evoke heritage. Charcoal and soft gold deliver modern country polish. By limiting accents, even eclectic plantings feel composed. This approach reduces shopping guesswork and keeps budget in check. If you tire of a palette, swapping textiles is easier than revamping beds or hardscape. Topiary adds instant English character without demanding a sprawling estate. Start small with clipped rosemary, myrtle, or boxwood spheres in pots. 1 or 2 well-placed shapes at a gate or path junction signal intentional design. Keep form simple: balls, cones, low cubes, so they age gracefully and are easy to maintain. Topiary also acts like punctuation in planting sentences, guiding the eye and lending formality to otherwise billowy borders. It's a timeless trick that scales beautifully. Don't forget scent. Layer fragrance for every season. Winter daphne near a doorway, spring viburnum, summer roses and sweet peas, autumn herbs like mint and lemon balm. Position scented plants beside seating and paths, where you'll brush against them. Fragrance makes small spaces memorable and compensates when blooms are between peaks. Choose varieties that suit your light and temperature. Then mulch and water consistently. A happy plant perfumes more generously than a stressed one, rewarding simple care. Arbors and pergolas create height, shade, and ceremony. Even a short span between two posts frames movement and offers climbing support. Paint timber in muted heritage tones, off-white, soft gray, or deep green, to harmonize with foliage. Pair with gravel beneath to handle foot traffic and drainage. In tiny yards, a single overhead beam suggests a room without enclosing it. Train clematis for spring, then late flowering vines for summer, ensuring a rolling calendar of blooms above your head. Edibles belong in English landscapes, but tuck them stylishly. Border kitchen beds with low lavender or thyme, and interplant lettuces among roses for color echoes. Use rustic obelisks for climbing beans and peas. Their vertical rhythm feels ornamental. Fruit cordons against fences provide harvest without sacrificing floor space. This integration saves money, reduces grocery trips, and makes maintenance pleasant. Watering one area benefits both beauty and pantry. Practicality and romance happily share the same border. Rain is inevitable, so design for it elegantly. Slightly crown your planting beds for runoff, and use permeable surfaces wherever possible. A discreet rain chain feeding a gravel trench keeps patios drier and adds gentle music. Collect water in a lidded barrel painted to match the fence. Use it for containers and new plantings. Good drainage protects roots, prevents algae on stone, and extends furniture life. English style shines brightest when weather feels like a feature, not a foe. Fences and walls deserve thoughtful treatment. Soften boundaries with espaliered fruit, climbing hydrangea, or evergreen clematis. In shady corners, paint masonry a warm neutral to bounce light. Add a narrow shelf ledge on a brick wall for terracotta pots and herbs. Functional, charming, and space-efficient. Where privacy is needed, layer trellis panels above an existing fence to gain height legally and visually. The goal is coziness, not enclosure. Boundaries should feel like invitations, not warnings. Stone choices shape mood. Mixed flagstone reads rustic. Uniform paving feels refined. Brick laid in herringbone nods to traditional courtyards and pairs beautifully with lavender and boxwood. If budgets are tight, pour a simple concrete pad and edge it with reclaimed brick, then scatter large planters to soften the surface. Keep joints generous for self-seeding herbs like chamomile. Underfoot texture matters. Slight irregularities slow the pace, encouraging lingering. Exactly the tempo an English-inspired backyard deserves. Seating arrangements should anticipate conversation and quiet. Offer one sociable area with chairs facing inward, and one contemplative perch facing a view. In tight spaces, choose folding cafe chairs and a slim bench that can slide under a table. Cushions in outdoor-safe fabrics extend comfort across seasons. Keep a storage basket nearby for blankets and citronella candles. English gardens favor hospitality. A well-placed seat turns every bloom, raindrop, and sunset into an occasion to pause. Design principles keep everything harmonious. Balance tall and low, rough and smooth, evergreen and ephemeral. Repeat plant shapes and leaf textures so the eye rests. Use odd numbers when grouping smaller plants. Trios and quintets appear natural. Anchor each bed with one reliable evergreen so winter never feels empty. These principles cost nothing yet deliver cohesion, allowing thrifted finds and hand-me-down pots to mingle gracefully with new purchases, maintaining that layered, collected-over-time English charm. Maintenance matters. Plan for realistic care by grouping thirsty plants together and placing drought-tolerant varieties farther from the hose. Install simple drip lines under mulch to cut watering time and reduce waste. Choose plants with overlapping bloom cycles so deadheading feels rewarding, not endless. Keep a narrow tool rack near the back door for snips, gloves, and twine. An organized routine preserves the garden's lived-in beauty while giving you more moments to savor it. play with meadow moments, even in small yards. A pocket of ornamental grasses, Deschampsia, stipa, panicum, adds movement and golden light. Thread in daisies, scabiosa, or cornflowers for cheerful dots. Keep edges crisp with a low-clipped border so wildness looks intentional. Meadows reduce mowing, welcome pollinators, and glow under morning dew, giving that English countryside feeling without acreage. They also transition beautifully into winter, offering silhouettes that catch frost and create subtle, poetic structure. Pots near doors deserve special attention. Create a signature pair that evolves through the year. Bulbs and primroses in spring, geraniums and verbena in summer, chrysanthemums in autumn, and small conifers in winter. Repeat one foliage texture throughout to tie seasons together. This ritual welcomes guests, sets your home's tone, and satisfies the desire for quick refreshes without reworking entire beds. It's a small habit with outsized impact, and deeply aligned with English garden tradition. Materials should age gracefully. Choose untreated hardwoods that silver softly, or paint exterior timber with breathable finishes that patinate, not peel. Favor galvanized metal for watering cans and planters. Its muted sheen complements stone and foliage. Avoid overly glossy plastics. They jar against natural textures. When materials mature well, your garden gains credibility with time, looking cultivated rather than staged. This approach also protects budgets. Replacing items less often means more resources for plants and soil. Speaking of soil, feed it like a treasured heirloom. Layer compost each autumn, mulch in spring, and avoid heavy digging that disrupts structure. Healthy soil supports lusher growth, richer colors, and fewer pests, an English garden's quiet engine. If starting from scratch, build raised beds with a blend of topsoil, compost, and leaf mold. Add slow-release organic fertilizers for roses and fruit. Healthy roots mean fewer costly replacements and a garden that thrives through unpredictable seasons. Weatherproof your entertaining. A compact canopy or retractable shade sail keeps drizzle friendly rather than frustrating. Place an outdoor rug beneath seating to define the zone and warm the palate. Keep a small trolley stocked with mugs, tea, and blankets. Hospitality, English style. On warm evenings, a tabletop fire bowl adds glow without dominating. These simple comforts encourage year-round enjoyment, ensuring your thoughtfully designed landscape isn't just admired in peak summer, but cherished across 12 months. Accessorize with purpose. Bird baths, sundials, vintage watering cans, and terracotta rhubarb forcers become character anchors when used sparingly. One memorable object per room is enough. Let climbing roses or ivy partially embrace statues to soften outlines. Keep color accents subtle so objects integrate rather than shout. This curated approach prevents clutter and enhances narrative, making each corner feel storied. An essential trait of English gardens, where history, whimsy, and practicality mingle without competing for attention. Use mirrors thoughtfully for space illusions. A weather-resistant mirror on a shady wall extends the garden's depth and bounces light into darker beds. Frame it with timber to read like a window, and angle slightly so it reflects foliage, not your seating area. Mirrors are a budget-friendly tool for narrow courtyards and townhomes, creating that secret garden vibe. Just ensure secure mounting and occasional cleaning. When handled with restraint, reflective surfaces feel magical rather than gimmicky. Pet and kid-friendly design still looks refined. Choose rounded gravel rather than sharp aggregate. Secure pond grates beneath water features, and avoid spiky plants near play zones. Create a small lawn ellipse for games, bordered by hardy ground covers that tolerate stray footsteps. Provide storage for toys within an attractive bench box. English style prizes livability. Formality softens when a garden welcomes life in motion, proving elegance and everyday practicality can share the same path. Consider sound and shelter. Plant evergreen hedges to buffer wind, and place taller shrubs where noise enters the yard. A small water rill or bubbling pot adds a steady hush that calms city clatter. Soft textiles absorb echo in walled courtyards. These sensory layers turn a simple backyard into a restorative retreat that feels distinctly English, gentle, enclosed, and conversational, no matter the plot size. Comfort grows when every detail invites you to linger happily. If your style is modern, England-inspired doesn't mean fussy. Keep lines clean, plant in generous drifts, and limit the palette to greens, whites, and one accent bloom. Use smooth pavers with gravel joints, black or deep green fencing, and one sculptural tree. Add shapely planters with clipped evergreens for discipline. The result feels current yet romantic, pairing contemporary architecture with classic horticultural rhythm. English style adapts gracefully. It's a language, not a costume. For cottages or traditional homes, lean into layered charm. Mix brick with stone, add a timber arch, and let borders billow slightly over edges. Use heirloom varieties, delphiniums, peonies, roses, tempered by evergreen bones. Choose handmade look pots and vintage-inspired lighting. Keep colors soft and harmonized like a watercolor. This approach reads instantly welcoming and ages beautifully, proving you don't need expansive grounds to capture that beloved English softness. Character grows from thoughtful choices and gentle irregularities.